forecasting a recession yet. Plenty of other forecasters are, and it would hurt. No one's whispering about the R word anymore. Now they just come right out and say it.
The probabilities of a recession have moved up.
And there's new fears of recession.
America's already in a
The
recession.
U.S. economy will slip into recession this year.
The government has failed them.
Why is this building for sale?
Well, a lot of places are going out of business because of the recession.
What's a recession?
A recession is a general slowdown in economic activity over a period of time longer than a few months.
The causes of a recession are crisis theory, currency crisis, financial crisis, overproduction, and underconsumption.
The effects of a recession are bankruptcies, credit crunches, deflation, foreclosures, and unemployment.
Hi, Mr. Kirkland. We're going to talk to you about the recession.
Okay, that'll be fine. My name is Jack Kirkland. I'm a CPA, and I've been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for about 30 years.
Okay, what, in your opinion, do you think caused the recession?
I think it was caused by a number of things, but some of the most important are that both the government and individuals were too heavily leveraged. That means they borrowed too much money compared to what they could afford to pay or pay off, and so that nobody had any flexibility in their budget. And the other thing that triggered the recession was the real estate market, which was grossly overvalued. Homes were valued at much higher prices than they really were worth, and investments were overvalued. And when all of those things adjusted or became lower in value, then people's spending was impacted, and they didn't have any room in their budgets because they were overspending and overborrowing.
आजा आजा जिंद शामी आने के तले आजा जरी वाले नीले आसमाने के तले.
Since 1980, the United States has experienced only 8 periods of negative economic growth over 1 quarter or more, and 4 periods considered recessions. These periods have lasted from a range of 8 months to 18 months. One of the most prominent effects of a recession is unemployment. In order to gain a new perspective on the effects of the recession, we interviewed several people.
Jonathan Rojas and Nicholas Oteki are 2 men who are currently homeless due to the recession. Jonathan stated that he used to be a construction worker, but he was laid off and unable to find work elsewhere. Nicholas also worked in construction, but when he was laid off, he could no longer support his family. His wife and children left him, which shows how families have been broken up due to the hard times of the recession.
We also interviewed Hamilton Mosley, a man who was just released on bail after being arrested for armed robbery. Him and his accomplice, Nicholas Alfonso, attempted to rob a local gas station. When asked of their motive, they replied, "Desperate times call for desperate measures," referring to the difficult financial situation the recession has put them in.
Research has shown that low-skilled, low-educated workers and the young are most vulnerable to unemployment in a downturn like the recession. People who lose their jobs are forced to beg on the streets, thus increasing the homeless population. Production, as measured by gross domestic product, employment, investment spending, capacity utilization, household incomes, business profits, and inflation all fall during recessions. Also during a recession, bankruptcies and the unemployment rate rise. What effect has the recession had on the stock market?
Recessions affect the stock market quite significantly. A recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, and when the economy slows, companies stop hiring people. There's less wages, therefore people have less money to spend, and when they spend less, companies like GE and Procter & Gamble, where we buy all our products, that make all of our products, their earnings suffer, and when their earnings suffer, their stock prices go down. Then the Federal Reserve typically steps in order to stimulate the economy by lowering interest rates, making credit and borrowing more available to everyone. When that happens, they can all of a sudden start to expand, hire more people, When you hire more people, people have more money to spend. When they have more money to spend, they typically spend it. The earnings of these companies start going higher, and then the market starts moving back up again. So recessions are very, very important.
As Michael Valdez said, recessions are very important. The recession has had a huge effect on the unemployment rate in America.
For example, in 1990, the unemployment rate was precisely 6%. In January of 2010, the unemployment rate reached an all-time high at 10.6%.
It has gone down to It has gone down to 9.3% and continues to decline, though at a very slow pace.
Consumer spending has become very limited, and people are turning to substitute for name-brand goods that they would normally buy.
Consumers have learned to be conscious of the opportunity cost with every purchase. Opportunity cost is the cost of passing up the next best choice when making a decision.
With this in mind, more families refrain from non-necessary spending, such as going out to dinner, going on vacations, and luxury shopping. This causes many different types of businesses to suffer, like restaurants and malls.
Also, retail stores like Burlington Coat Factory and Marshall's offer similar products for cheaper prices. So during the recession, they have become more popular to consumers.
The recession has caused many people to lose jobs, as businesses make an effort to cut down their staff in order to profit more individually.
As you can see, the recession has had some sort of effect on all aspects of the American economy.
Nouriel Roubini is a professor of economics at the Stern School of Business at New York University and is chairman of RGE Monitor, an economic consulting firm. In 2009, he predicted the end of the recession. Roubini stated,
in quotations, "I have said on numerous occasions that the recession would last roughly 24 months. Therefore, we are 19 months into that recession. If, as I predicted, the recession is over by the end of the year, it will have lasted 24 months with the recovery only beginning in 2010. Simply put, I am not forecasting economic growth before a year's end."
As seen in the decrease of the unemployment rate, America's economy is slowly recovering. The unemployment rate has dropped 1.3% from January 2010 till now.
The economy will hopefully continue to get better as the people put more trust in the banking system, the stock market, and other economic situations.
Until then, people must find a way to deal with the adjustments being made to their daily life as a result of the recession.
आजा आजा जिंद